So this video is how to construct the detachable shape, the detachable cape as designed by one of my students. It's based on the shape of the moon, so you've got the crescent moon on the front and more a half moon on the back. So it's just something that you don't necessarily construct from a block, it's just done from a body measurement. So I literally measured around the width of my shoulders, the whole body, and then allowing for a little bit of movement as well. And I came up with a measurement of 50 inches of a complete circumference based on a size 12 to 14. So very simple little construction. Start off with your centre front and then just square out. And we will square out the full 25, which is your, because we're going to cut the front on the fold, so the centre front is going to go to fold. So we measure out 25 inches. And then square down for the centre back. And these measurements in relation to the length and the shape, you can modify to suit exactly what you want. Okay, so then halfway along we're going to mark in where our shoulder would be. So that will be at about 12 and a half. So we're just going to put a little notch in there to indicate where the shoulder is. Okay, so that's for the shoulder. And then again, these measurements are purely on what exactly you want. So I'm kind of reckoning the length of the front will be, or rather the drop of the front will be about kind of maybe about 7 inches, 8 inches, 7 inches. Again, this is kind of just completely up to you. I'm just guessing here. And I'm going to scoop that up into a shape at my shoulder point. Again, I'm just leaving a width of about 2 inches at the shoulder, because we need to have a little bit of room there, because we're going to have to put in a little section of elastic, so to help the piece actually stay on the shoulder. And then the back, we're going to make a little bit longer than the 7, so we're going to make the back about 14 or 12 rather. So we'll put 12 for the back. So I've measured down 12 inches for the back, and again I'm just going to square that off and then scoop that up into a shape. Okay, and then to make the moon look, or to make the shape on the front look a little bit more kind of crescent like, I'm going to drop my centre front point a little bit. So I'm going to bring that down about 4 centimeters and square out, and then leaving about 8 centimeters on the back and 8 centimeters on the front where we can add elastic. So basically shape into there. And then same on the back, I'm going to drop that to the 4 centimeters just to give it a bit of a curve, to make it look a little bit more like a moon shape. But this is simply my interpretation of the design. It doesn't mean that this is exactly it. So the back will be cut to a seam. Okay, so as you can see, I've dropped that down just to kind of give it a little bit more of a shape to look like a little bit of a moon. I can't bring it right up into a point at the shoulder, because it would just be, from a manufacturing point of view, we need to have a little bit of width here. So basically all we have to do is add seam allowance to that and cut it out. So considering it's not a very technical construction, I'm actually just going to add my seam allowance to this and cut it out. I know you should never actually cut up your constructions, but because there's so much curve going on, I'm just going to add a 1 centimeter seam allowance the whole way around, because it just makes it, I find it makes it easier to sew when you don't have too much of a seam allowance on curved seam. So 1 centimetre all around. Of course not on my centre front because that's going to be on the fold. Seam on the back. And that is my piece. That will be cut in lining. You will then make up your actual textile and then lay that down on your completed textile and cut it out. And then you will actually use the textile and the lining to make up your finished piece.